Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Lords and Villains. This is a game that you can find on Steam's Early Access program for about 20 bucks. There is a 15% discount until October 7th, 2021. It goes without saying that everything that you're about to see here is subject to change. So this is more of a first impressions rather than a review, simply because even though I've spent 2 to 3 hours playing this, I feel like I need to start over and just come at the game fresh again because my playthrough is kind of borked. Not in a bad way, it's just I feel like I could be doing better. What is Lords and Villains, first off? Well, it's a medieval family builder. It's kind of similar to RimWorld in the sense that it's very character focused. Basically, the game starts you off, and you're going to be well, first you get to design your own ruler, which is kind of cool. Nothing spectacular, but you can choose your cape, you can choose your clothes to a limited degree, facial expression, male, female, that kind of thing. You can also choose what kind of partner you're interested in. And then you get to choose what map type you want to play on. And then it throws you into this map with yourself and your partner along with some other families. And this is where this game differs from other city builders slash village builders that I've played before. This game is more focused on family units rather than the individual. Yes, you can still click on the individual and sort of learn something about them, their mood, what they need, that kind of thing. However, a lot of the things that you're going to be doing in this game are going to be assigning land to families or taking care of families as a whole. And each family will have different jobs that you can assign to them. So you can go, okay, I'm going to assign farmland here, and I want to assign this particular family to it. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and assign a royal forest zone. Similar to RimWorld, you can assign zones. But I'm going to go ahead and assign this family to that zone. And then a fishing zone. I'm going to go ahead and assign this family to that zone, and so on. And these families will then start producing resources within that area. You're going to have to manage each individual zone to make sure it's producing what you want. You can actually, there's a zone visibility view, and you click that on, you can build things right from there. Like if you click on a zone, you can see all the things that it may need. You can click on the little build button and build it. You may want to build, like, let's say that you're going to build some farmland. Make sure that you reserve some spots for just bare ground rather than farming soil. That way you can put things down like feeders and silos and barrels and so on, storage areas. That way, you're not going, I have to edit this zone later and readjust everything. Yeah, you can edit zones and spread them out, but you have to do so from the zone, that edit zone section, not from, like, you can't just create a new zone and then drag and then merge zones. You have to edit an existing zone and branch it out that way. But each zone will have its own family assigned to it. You can adjust priorities. So farming zones, for example, you can prioritize things like wheat or potatoes or carrots, cabbage. You can see what's in season right now. Animals, your villagers will not tame animals unless you assign a priority to that. So yeah, it's not bad. Again, there's a bit of a learning curve, though. I think the biggest thing that confuses me still is the way that money is made and how the villagers do everything. So it seems like villagers in this game have their own personal inventory and their own personal wealth. You also have your own personal wealth, like, I guess, the royal coffers, if you will. And I'm not exactly sure how villagers make their money. I mean, you can put marketplaces in their individual homes, and they will sell goods based on what they're producing, and I'm assuming that's how they make their money. And then, by extension, you're going to have villagers trading with each other. Like, the family that specializes in fish, they're going to be selling a lot of their fish to the other villagers and so on. So I'm still a little unclear as to how that all ties together, even after 2 or 3 hours of gameplay. So the gameplay loop is something like this. Your villagers produce stuff, they are taxed on it. You can actually set what kind of tax they're on. like it's something called a fealty, where you can charge them like a fee farm, for example. They will pay you in gold every day or something like that. If you assign it to stewardry, you pay gold to the villagers but keep all of their production, and so on. So you can choose what kind of tax type or fealty type that you're gonna have for each of these things. But anyway, the general gameplay loop is villagers produce stuff. Typically, they're taxed on what they're producing. And at the end of every season, you're going to get money from them. And then you're going to owe tax to the king. And so there's a kingdom tax. So you earn money from the villagers, and you then pay your tax to the king for your kingdom. And you have kingdom reputation that you have to maintain and make sure that, you know, you're on good terms with the king. That's the general gameplay flow. Again, I haven't really delved too deeply into how the taxes in the market. I think that's the biggest learning curve that or the biggest learning hurdle that I'm having right now, is how that all ties together. But all in all, it's a pretty cute little game. There are some issues with the tutorial, for example, that I'm having problems with. Like, you know, sometimes the tutorial will tell me to do something. There's a how-to button. If I click on it, it'll highlight certain things, but on occasion it's like, well, you know, figure the rest out on your own. So it's not a fully, I mean, it's good. It's like, I would say it's 75% there, but there are still a couple of things that I try and figure out on my own. Like, oh, I have to put this production thing down. Like, there's an entirely separate build menu. You can put down cooking tables, fishing rods. I was trying to put down fishing rods and they were all red. The tutorial is like, well, put these down. I'm like, okay, so how do I do that? Where do I put it? Oh, I have to put it on land, and I have to rotate it with Q and E until it faces the water. It took me some time, but the tutorial did not tell me that. It's just something I had to figure out on my own. So the tutorial is like 75% there, but there are some little things that you're going to go, oh, I have to do this. Okay. But yeah, another thing that I would recommend, just as a first timer giving some new advice, make sure you build your houses fairly big and make sure the estates are fairly big. Again, you're going to be assigning land to these people. And you can put walls up, and like in RimWorld, you can put roofs and floors, but make sure you build large sections. I made the mistake of compacting everything, and little did I know that, say, the Turner family that I've got has a family of 5. I could barely fit 4 beds in their house already. So one's been sleeping outside for several seasons. I could take the time to redo their land and assign them new land and build a bigger house, but I kind of want to start over from scratch and do it right. You can also, there's a warehouse book, and you can actually set things for sale there. And I'm guessing that comes out of your personal inventory. And you can even undercut the market. So I'm guessing, like, the average market price, I'm guessing, is what the villagers sell their stuff at. But you can actually set it to that price, or you can undercut the villagers and make sure that they're buying from you first, kind of thing, if you want to do it that way. How it all ties together, like I said, I'm still working on. But overall, it's a decent, cute little game that, yeah, there's a bit of a learning curve, but I am compelled to come back to it and do better a second time. And that's usually a good sign. When I get frustrated with something, I usually just walk away from it. Here, I recognize that I failed at certain things, and I need to, like, I feel like I need to start fresh, start over, and have at it again. And if I'm willing to do that, typically, then I'm interested and want to keep playing it. So yeah, go check this one out. It's roughly $20 on Steam's early access. If you guys haven't already, subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.